嗨，大家好，我是 Sam，欢迎来到我的频道。那这一集我们看的一个影片是我跟 Susan Glover 的一个 Zoom meeting。那这个 meeting 主要探讨的是 Susan Glover 这个 Webinar Bootcamp，我在帮他卖这个 campaign。OK，他这个 campaign 主要是帮助人们更好的 present on camera，因为他是一个演员，他受过超过20年的训练，在美国 San Francisco 第3大的电影产业。OK， 不是 Hollywood， 但是是 San Francisco。那他是专业的培训如何在影片面前，或者是摄像机面前怎么样去表演，所以他知道怎么样透过摄影机去跟人们，去跟客户做连接。OK， 那我帮他卖这个产品。那我现在主要的问题是，我为了他的 webinar， 他的 product service， 我做了很多研究，包括去看他以前的 LinkedIn， 包括他以前的 sales page， 他的整个 sales page， 他的卖点是什么，等等等等。所以我做了一个融入 mirror board， 但是问题是telling is not selling， right？ 虽然我们有很多信息，但是对客户来讲，他们不需要那么多的信息。最好的是可以把 pitch 压缩在15到20分钟之内，不管任何复杂的 pitch， 只要压缩在15到20分钟内。加上他的 offer 其实 relatively 来说算是比较比较显而易见，比较 straightforward， 所以其实不需要那么长的一个 presentation。那这一集主要是探讨这个问题，所以 now let's see the video.
Recording. Okay, so you have some questions. Well, I don't know where to start out with your questions first so that I can answer that, because my agenda today is to get to know you and to help you be successful at this.
Okay. So my first question is, I actually showed this to Marco as well, and also did role play with Dimitri and Kareem, the other closer. And what I did is something new. It's also kind of new to myself. I create a mirror board, and I think it's going to help me when I do closing. And I'm going to share with you my screen.
And let me see if I can let you share or not. Let me see if I can let you share. Oh dear, I wonder where it went. Why don't you see if you can share, and I'll let's see. There it is. The second, multiple, there you go. You should be able to share now.
Okay. Can you see my screen?
Yes, I can. I have to move my, I have to move my camera so I can see it better.
Okay. So for this,
so I'm gonna just so you know, I'm gonna be sideways for a minute. So I can see your screen, okay?
Yeah.
Okay. Oh wow.
Yeah.
I can't see that really well, but
yes.
There you go.
I can't zoom in, but first I want to see the overview, right? I think my biggest problem now is because for this campaign I create a lot of content, and it's a lot of reading. If you read it yourself, it would probably take about 40, 50 minutes, and if I combine this to closing, it will probably take a large amount of time, which I don't mind, but telling is not selling. So I want to incorporate the best part and the most important part only. So probably the biggest problems for me on this call I want to solve is how can I incorporate this and use the best sequence, the best parts of this to help me close the client.
Excellent. Okay. Excellent. Yeah. So you've given me something here that.
Alright， 所以会到现在花了大概2分钟，简单的寒暄，然后直接切入重点。OK， 我的 presentation， 我的 mirror board 上面的信息太长了。我看 Susan Glover 他作为创造这个 campaign 的人，他会怎么看？他会想要把哪个重点 ，right 对他来说是最重要的。OK，
is a lot of stuff that we're going to extrapolate something honed in that's going to give enough for the client to make a decision, but not overwhelm, right?
Yes.
Good. keep going. Keep talking to me then.
All right.
Now,
So
are you actually going to use? Oh, sorry to interrupt, but once we tone this down, would you do a different mirror board or what?
I'm going to use this mirror board. This is my mirror board. Yeah. I'll probably move things around, but this is mainly what I'm going to use. Is this okay?
The business is spelled business BUSINUS. Is that supposed to be plural?
Business slavery file. So
Okay.
this I talk about people being a slave to their business, a business model, and also introduce a business model where Iman Ghazi introduced, where it's a monthly subscription model, which is I'm going to use this later because
Alright，这边先暂停一下。等一下，我的表达能力真的有问题，不管是中文跟英文，我的表达能力真的要加强，没有办法一针见血的去探讨这个问题。如果我现在重新去描述我这片 mirror board 要表达的问题是，我会说 Iman Ghazi 它有个 business model， 是一个 monthly subscription 的一个 business model， 他要他的学生去做 Facebook ad。Right, a lead generation agency 去帮他们的客户去做更多的 lead gen，OK？、然后我需要做的事情是 compare 他的这个 business model to Susan Glover's business model， 因为他的 Iman Ghazi 的 business model 只是帮客户解决 lead generation leads 的问题，但是 Susan Glover 的 business model 他帮客户解决的是更多面的问题 ，OK？ 所以如果客户要问他们就是问价格，或者说有什么 ROI 的时候，那我可以比较 Iman Ghazi 的 business model to Susan Glover's 的 business model， 就跟客户说，看，我们解决更多的问题 ，right？ 我们给你这样的价格。那 Iman Ghazi 他帮你解决的问题比较少，但他收的价格比我们更多 ，right？ 那这就是一个很好的 price anchor 的一个技巧。
Might came up with the ROI objection. And this business model, what they did is they offered running ads. And later, I will compare the sections that they sold in the market and compare to us. And if they came up with the ROI question, I would say, this model, a 21-year-old from the USA, they will have a guarantee where if they don't give you a certain amount of ROI, which if they don't double your income, and you don't need to pay them, or you can get your money back. And then I will compare it to this offer to their campaign and ask, okay, if I am 21-year-old from the USA running this business model and I give you a big bold guarantee, which one will you choose? Are you choosing us or are you choosing them? So basically, I want to plant the seed and let them answer themselves of the business model of an ROI and big bold guarantee. So is this okay?
Yes. Did you see in the sales agreement that I said the goal is to be doubling our revenue?
I didn't see it in the agreement. Maybe there's something that's...
Alright， 这边有个前提是，我开会的时候，那时候对我老师6点，我记得他在 PST 的 time zone，OK，、然后他在我凌晨4点的时候传了 sales agreement， 我没有时间去看那个 sales agreement， 我记得他是有加在里面，他有个 guarantee 是 double your income， 但是它下面有几个前提，其中有个前提是他要客户自己可以在2个月内去填充至少200个人到 webinar 里面，但他不会帮你做 lead generation。OK， 那这个 part 是我有一些问题，所以我需要问他。那我们继续看。
The guarantee, and I'm not promising that I'll double their guarantee, but I had a marketing person tell me that I needed to use that angle. But when I went into LinkedIn, people thought it was cheesy. Oh yeah, you're gonna help me double my sales through that. We make $1 million a month, and you are gonna help me double my sales. I don't.
Alright， 但这边他讨论的一个问题是，因为在这一行，每个人都在 guarantee， 我保证可以帮你增加2倍的营业额。就比如说 Susan Glover 他说，在这一行常常碰到，有个有趣的现象是在台湾反而比较没有，在台湾我很少看到这个情况。有在业务公司工作过，他们没有说这样保证，也有到展览上面，他们也没有保证营业额多少。 但在美国这情况比较常见，甚至有点到一个比较病态的一个环境里面，每个人都在保证2倍的营业额 ，2 times, 3 times，OK，、然后 Susan Glover 他不想要一直提这个问题的原因，是因为他没有把这个包括在他的 sales page， 不然我做了那么多的研究 ，right， 我做了那么多研究，我不可能没有发现，他是临时加在 sales agreement 里面 ，OK， 他的理由是他不想让别人听起来像是诈骗，或者听起来很 cheesy，OK，、很 cheesy， 因为他把他double 2 times your revenue 放在他的 LinkedIn 里面，别人觉得很 cheesy， 跟别人说，我工作我花了10年，我都没办法去2倍我的营业额，你突然进来就可以帮我2倍营业额，这样子 cheesy，OK，、这是他的 defense。
So it caused a lot of skepticism and brought out a lot of critical thinking of, yeah, right. I even told the marketing guy that, and he didn't listen to me. So what's your objective? What do you want them to say? What answer do you want them to answer with this?
Of course, I was also talking with Marco about this RI. So basically how Marco break it down is he will first ask about their business model. So let's say they do coaching and they charge 125 USD per session an hour. And then we'll say, okay, we'll work with the offer. We'll try to change the offer to a 3-month. And you charge 3,500 to 5,500. And then we will help you get 10 clients. And we'll work it out the math and see the ROI inside this. So this is Marco's approach to this, and really try to hold the hands for the client and really break it down and start doing the math with them.
Exactly.
OK， 所以这边我们主要讨论到的是个 ROI， 是一个很 common 的 objection。OK，ROI、这个问题我也跟 Marco Fernandez， 他by the way 他创造了2亿的营业额，所以我跟他讨论这个问题。那他对 ROI 的见解是 OK， 他会一起跟客户手牵手去计算所谓的 ROI。那假设对方是一个 coach， 他们一个 session 是收125块美金1个小时 ，OK？ 那 Marco 会做的事情是 ，OK， 我们帮你去 change 你的 offer， 我们去帮你改变一下你的 offer， 变成3到5个月 ，OK？3到5个月，然后 charge 3500块美金到5500块美金 ，OK？ 那这样的话，我们一起来帮你计算你的 ROI 会变多少。我们帮你收取10个客户 ，OK？ 帮你收取10个客户，然后我们一起算。那大概的算法是 ，OK， 假设他本来是3个客户，然后每个礼拜3个 session， 那这样的话125乘3是375块，那每个月是大概1400左右 ，OK，1400块美金。那假设我们帮他收10个 client， 那算最少的好了，3个月3500块，那这样的话是 35K， 那 35K 相较于1500，算1500块好了，那 ROI 会是超过10 times，right？ 超过10 times 的 ROI，OK， 大概是这样的算法。不好意思，我的 math 不是很好，可能要take it out the calculator.
The math with us would be different. So shall we go over that so we can be clear on what my math would be? Would you be interested in that?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, so my math, I'm going to bring myself back up here. My math is all about, instead of doing one-on-one calls, so let's say we're talking to a person who already is a coach, and they already charge X amount of dollars per hour for coaching. Every time they're doing this.
OK， 这边暂停一下。那 Susan Glover 他有自己的算法，他有自己的 math， 然后他现在跟我们说他的 math 是怎么样算的。OK，
sales call, they're pretty much spending whatever their fee is. If it's $125 an hour, $250 an hour, they're spending that in marketing money. Does that make sense? So if I were to hand that out in marketing, I would be spending $150 to $250, whatever that is. But what if instead, and people don't show up, people, but then the problems with that are people don't show up, and maybe you're not a very good person to sell on this camera thing because there are special techniques to selling through the video. And thirdly, so maybe You're not very good at it. Maybe you're spending your time. You're not very good at it, and I don't remember what all those said. But the money is pretty much already being spent. And we did this in timeshare. What we did was price justification, and it meant that we would sit down and we would say, "What are you already spending on vacation?" And we would add it up. What are you already spending on this? What are you already spending on that? What are you spending on every year? And people would say, "Oh, I don't take vacation." But then I would coax it out of them, and I'd find out, well, wait a second, you went out to a weekend? What's that? And then if they really didn't, then I said, how much do you eat out? Because people always eat out. Oh, wow. Well, what if you shifted that money and ate healthier at home and then had a vacation that you just loved every, 2 or 3 times a year? So you see how they're already spending vacation money. They're already spending money on this stuff. So if we could say that in this, you're already spending money on marketing. You're just doing it yourself. And what are the problems with that? People don't show up. You may not be good at it. And then you don't have any follow-up because you don't have probably what do you call it? I'm planting a seed now. The appropriate tech back end. Because most people don't have the appropriate back end to follow up. Because a lot of times it's not the problem of having lead generation, it's the problem of doing something with them. Does that make sense?
Yep.
Do you have questions about that? Or like how can we apply that to this?
So you mentioned.
OK， 那这边他提到的问题是，他的 calculation 跟 Marco 不一样的是，他说他会问客户，那你本来就在 marketing 上面有花钱，你花的钱可能对方不会 show up， 因为你的 VSL 可能不好，你的 marketing 可能做得不好，所以别人可能他的需求没有那么大，所以他们就会故意不会 show up。第二点是你就算他们 show up， 你也不知道怎么透过 video 去 close 他们。那与其你自己一个人做，那何不我们一起帮你搞定这个事情？加上你的 backend 可能不是很好，因为很多人的问题不是 lead generation， 而是他们的 backend。OK。
Follow up and lead generation, which is definitely my problem. My questions later I'm going to ask you. I'm actually asking Marco about the follow up, and then he give me a Google Drive. And I like how you put it in the sales page where a closer asked me about follow up. I give him a Google Drive. Yeah, that was me. Yeah. So the sequence I put in here, I maybe put too much stuff in here, right? Later I go review about this. So this section I brought up. I want to plant a seed where 99% of business owner is a slave to their own business, and I want to tell them that this is not your own personal problem. A lot of business owners are facing this problem, and I try to plant a seed about this agency model where their clients think about their services is a scam because what they offer is a commodity, and I want their services not be not be a commodity. And how do they do that? They need to incorporate webinar. So this is what I try to tell them.
在这边就突然想到一件事 ，Susan Glover 说是 extrapolate， 然后我一直说 incorporate， 我现在就要查一下两者的区别，因为我其实也不是太知道 incorporate 的中文是什么。incorporate 中文包含 shit extrapolate。对 ，God， 可能我用的没有错。Anyways， 继续看下去。
And also, I want to tell them that we're not helping them to sell logo, to do their logo, their website, but what we're doing here is help them do on camera, how they're going to connect with their clients, right? And I showed this to Dimitri, and I think this is the part where he likes the best, which I introduced them to leverage. In order for them to move this rock, right, to have more time, to make more money, to have more freedom. But a lot of people would say just put more effort in, and then I show them my personal story, which I used to do face-to-face selling, and I only going to meet 2 clients a day because of transportation, commute, and etc. Now I'm doing Zoom, and I'm able to meet 8 people a day, and then if I leverage webinar, I can easily do 10, 20 people, or even 100,000 people in one sitting, and that's easily going to do probably a week's, a month, or even a year's work in one sitting. And I think this is going to be powerful. And so this part is what I like really much, and I give them some examples of Alex Hormozi, how he did it with the same leverage. Iman Gussie do it, and okay. And
Okay.
yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
stop for a minute. Oh, go back, please. I think that right there with the leverage is a very, very good visual. Very good. Very good.
OK，哇，史丹高维也在称赞我，说明我某些地方有做对。那我刚才说的是 Susan Glover， 他很喜欢我说的一个点是，我给大家看到一个所谓的 leverage， 跟顾客解释用 webinar 的好处是什么。OK， 那用 leverage， 想象我不知道是哪个科学家，阿基米德，要撬动这整个地球，我只要给我一个支点 ，OK， 那个就是所谓的 leverage。要怎么样撬动那块石头？那块石头象征的是我们，比如说我们要赚更多钱，我们要花更少的时间去赚更多的钱。那怎样撬动这块石头？那有些人说，那我可以花更多的精力，我一天花12个小时。那当然有人就觉得啊，我为了要有更多的时间，我反而要花更多的时间 ，right？ 所以，但是很多人还是犯这样的错误。这样的话，他们会最终变成他们 business、他们生意的一个 slave 的一个奴隶。Right？ 台湾很多餐饮业，我看他们每天都好累，真的很心疼他们。他们就是觉得他们要花那么多的精力在他们的生意上面，但是没有办法。OK？ 那我可以跟客户说的事情是，比如说举例 ，Right？ 我以前做业务，面对面，我一天最多只能 schedule 2个人。因为就可能早上一个，下午一个，因为要交通去那边可能要1个小时，吃饭要1个小时，对不对？然后可能跟客户要聊比较嗨，然后下午再 schedule 一个，那可能2个。那我现在通过 Zoom 去做 meeting， 我一天可以 schedule 8个，因为我不用再去跟别人，你知道是吃饭 transportation 花的精力更少。那我如果用 Susan Glover 的 campaign 教你怎么样做 webinar，OK， 把他们聚集在一个 setting， 那我一个 setting 我就可以跟好几十个甚至几百个人做销售会议，那我可以节省1个礼拜甚至1个月、1年的我的精力，面对面销售做业务的精力，直接在一个 meeting 一个 setting 上面解决，并且我可以不用花更多的精力，因为一样。跟1个人谈，跟10个人谈，跟100个人谈，用的精力其实上限跟下限不会差太多。OK， 那这个方面是 Susan Glover 他很喜欢。
In presentation on Zoom, it would be better to have a few very large, fill the screen kind of examples like that. Yeah,
Okay.
Right. Rather than show a schematic, because you and I obviously are analytical type of people that would love a schematic. But
Yes.
a lot of people will get lost in that.
OK， analytical people， right？ 什么叫 analytical people？ 那像我的话，如果一个业务要给我卖一个东西，那我是喜欢数据的人，我也喜欢他给我叽里吧啦讲一大堆关于那个产品的好处。那我可能现在以我的角度上来说，我可能是属于那种我需要数据来 justify 我做的决定到底是不是正确的那一类型人，所以我可能也不是太理性，但是我想找出数据来合理化我的行为，那我可能是这样的人。OK， 继续看。
Do you think so? Do you agree?
Yeah, that's my biggest fear as well.
Yeah. But you know what you've done, and I'll tell you. I'm going to tell you a story because I talk in stories because of the result that they give. I did copywriting for the newspaper a few years ago. Yeah.
All right， 现在他 Susan Glover 会跟我讲一个 story， 去来褒奖我的努力。OK， 那这可能是有经验的人跟没有经验的人的差别。像可能没有经验的人就说哇你好棒棒哦，哇你的努力很值得称赞。他现在做的事情是他分享一个故事来跟我共情。那当然这个故事我已经听过几百遍。你有做 research 的时候，他一直讲这个故事，他用同一个故事，他现在还在跟我讲。那当然还有一点是，如果你说实话，那你就不用记得你说了什么，因为你说的永远都是事实，你就不用记得你说了任何的东西。如果你说谎，你还要一个一个去花时间花精力去记得你说哪些谎，那这样的话不是很好。OK， 所以做业务要说事实，这样我就不用记太多笔记了，因为我这个人很懒。OK。
for newspapers still around. And I was selling a private label, my own label of anti-wrinkle pill because I'm in my 60s and I'm all concerned about looking young, okay? So I did a lot of research.
Wow 我这时候我还不知道他以前还卖过 pills， 去帮助老年人去变得更年轻 ，OK， 然后继续听，然后他用这个经历例子是来告诉我 ，pill 是你知道医学上的东西有各种各样的知识 ，right？ 知识要点什么成分、营养成分 ，right？ 那如果做一个业务要把所有的营养成分都记下来，那当然他一定要记下来，不然怎么卖产品？但是想象如果你去一个医院，你去一个保健产品的这个厂商，他卖给你，他会一个一个跟你讲这成分到底有什么用吗？这有什么用吗？然后就让我想起我以前也有在 Amway 那边去参加过他们的销售培训课，那他们主要是做实力，他们会滴什么compare 他们的鱼油跟其他人的鱼油，像什么保利龙，看哇它的鱼油会不会灌出来那个产品那个保利龙，哇别人家的鱼油一直在腐蚀保利龙，他们家的鱼油 Amway 家的鱼油没有腐蚀保利龙等等等，但是他会给你看一些成分比较一些成分，然后跟你讲这是什么的激素等等，对。但是也没有太多一直注重在营养成分上面，所以，对啊，这边是有点奇异点。不过 anyways.
About women and their fears and also, I mean, I was a paralegal for 40 years, so I, just like you, I dove into it, right? Well, I had a mentor who, his name was Caleb, and Caleb was mentored by Gary Halbert, and Gary Halbert was pretty much a really big deal in the copywriting.
Right, 这边他提到他有个 mentor， 他的 mentor 被 Gary Halbert， 他的 mentor 的导师，他导师的导师是 Gary Halbert，OK， 我已经死了 ，RIP。Anyways， 我刚做了一个简单的Google search， 他说 Gary Halbert 赚了$1 billion US. Wow, wait. Big time people. Okay, back to the video.
Had him do, Caleb, when Caleb worked with him. And by the way, Caleb kept bugging Gary. He kept calling him and said, I want to work with you. I want you to teach me. Gary was, who are you? I don't want to talk to you. Caleb was persistent. And finally, Gary said to Caleb, fine, I'm going to get you off my back, is what he said to himself. He said, I'm going to get this kid off my back. You pay me $18,000 and I will train you. And this was a number of years ago when $18,000 was more money than it is today. So,
我等于是他的导师给了Gary Halbert $18,000，因为那时候是几十年前，那时候18,000跟现在比起来，那时候算是一笔巨款。Okay.
Caleb's brother, John, mortgaged his house and got the $18,000. Caleb moved to the apartment below Gary in Florida. He was right below him. And every day for 2 weeks, I mean, this was a young guy, and this was really tough for him, but every day for 2 weeks, Gary had Caleb handwrite out copying $1 million advertorials. And an advertorial is what you sell.
Wow, 所以Gary Halbert 他让这位Susan Glover 的导师，他做的事情是每天去抄写$1 million advertise $100万的广告，让他一直抄写，然后那些广告一般都是1000个字或1000个字以内 ，OK？ 那这些非常盈利的广告
supplements. They are 1,000 words or less, and there's a certain format to winning ads. What he did was he had Caleb handwrite out 12 hours a day for 2 weeks. So that's how the story goes. What happened was then he had Caleb take a break and for a couple of days to let his body process it. Caleb came out the door and wrote a $1 million winning ad.
OK， 结果他的导师 直接写了一个$1 million winning ad，直接在 marketing 那边写了一个$1 million winning ad，因为他自己他的 body 已经 process 了很多 information， 所以他导致可以这样做。Okay?
So what he did was when you do, and I have my students do this, I have them do research, which I don't call it research, I call it a treasure hunt because people don't like research typically. I have them do a treasure.
可以，他叫他的学生做研究，但他不叫那叫研究，他叫宝藏treasure hunt 探险活宝。
Then I have them do this exercise that integrates it kinesthetically, and they come out. And I had a client who was a therapist, and she hated selling, but she loved what I was doing, so she was in the program because she wanted to get good on camera, she wanted to do these things. And she said to me, she said, you know what, Suzanne?
OK， 这边是他的一个 third party story。如果你知道 third party story 的话，会知道这个很重要，所以我先把它复制粘贴下来。
Coaches have told me to go to Amazon and do the research. Other people have told me to do that. I said, of course they have. That's been around. I learned that in copywriting, I don't know, a dozen years ago. She said, but you know what, Suzanne? I didn't know what to do with it. I didn't know how to integrate it. So I help my students integrate it by doing like a mapping thing, an exercise. So what you've done here is really good because you've given yourself all that ammunition down inside so that you really know what you're selling. You really have the concepts in place. As it's like the same thing as having Caleb writing out all these ads. Yeah. You have it. Now, as you process this and go through some calls and we talk, you're gonna hone this down into a very good presentation. That's what I see.
Thank you. I actually.
Alright， 他这边又跟我说了几个我以前没有用的词汇。第一个是 ammunition， 是叫弹药，这边不知道为什么是简体字。Anyways， 他用了 ammunition。然后第二个是 hone it down，OK， 这是我可以用在我的会议上 ，hone it down，hone it down， 就磨练它。Alright, let's go on。他基本上这边在称赞我，我做研究做得很棒，看我笑得很开心。
Reading your stuff, doing research. I also happen to find out. Your picture when you're being young and then teaching models and actresses of their career. That's really interesting how I find that. And also put this into this presentation as well.
Yeah, thank you. And you've spent a long time doing this presentation. I've spent a long time living it. So I think that this particular leverage, because one of the points that I want to make, and I know I'm doing a lot of talking, which is not good in sales, but we're not selling right now. I believe that one of the key points that I would like people to understand is this leverage thing, and you've got that. So a big problem one of the problems that I solve, if you want to say this, one of the problems that I solve is getting a person out of the one-to-one calls. How do I do that? And what are the problems by taking calls? You're spending time, you're spending your consulting fee for nothing because you might have, depending on your close rate, you might have to, and this is where you rub it in. Maybe you take 5 calls. So I'm going to give you a demonstration. Okay. So, what do you charge?
Alright， 这边他说，我后来我也做了几个 research， 到底要怎么做一个 effective 的 presentation？ 很多人叫 blah 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 blah， 他不知道他们在说什么。但是最有效的方法永远是客户他在 discovery phase， 你问他的问题，他们自己 business 存在的哪些问题，你抓那几个重点。抓3个他们需要解决问题做 presentation 就可以了 ，OK？ 所以我要做的事情是归类这产品到底能解决多少问题，但实际上 business 争议也就那几个问题，对，就 lead generation 或者说 closing rate 太低了，people are not showing up，人们没有去出席到他们的销售会议，不知道怎么去做 VSL 去传达，跟客户讲他们的 pain point， 不知道怎么去 connect to the customers，right？ 或者说花太多时间在 sales cycle 太长了，等等等， 大概就这几个问题，所以我只要把这几个问题先归类，先做好，然后做好我们的解决措施。到时候客户他讲他到底是哪些问题，需要解决的时候，我再把那个地方 highlight 出来就好。OK， 好，继续看。
Charge an hourly, $200 an hour. All right. And how long are your sales calls? Usually about an hour, maybe a little over, maybe a little under. So they average an hour. So you're spending an hour with a person. So you're actually spending $200. Would you agree with that? Oh, I hadn't thought about that. How does that feel? I hadn't thought of it that way. Well, let me ask you, how many people do you have to talk to before you make a sale? 4 or 5, 3, 4 or 5 people? I have to, well, sometimes they don't show up.
Right， 那这边就是另外一个算法，一个算 ROI 的方法。那它的算法是 OK， 他问他 OK， 请问你，如果你是个 coach， 你的定价是多少？1个小时200块美金。OK， 那通常你的 sales call， 你的销售会议大概是多久？1个小时。OK， 那它是1个小时，所以你要花1个小时去，等于说你在一个人身上花1个小时做销售会，那基本上你花的在他身上等于是200块，因为你的定价是200块美金，对吗？我没有想过这个问题。OK，
And so you might get a call.
然后现在 OK， 请问你 how many people do you have to talk to before you make a sale? 4 or 5。所以你的 closing rate 是多少？20%，等于说你要花跟4个人做交谈，你才可以 close 1个人。然后等于是你在1个人身上你通常要花4到5个小时，你才可以 close 1个人 ，right？ 那这样的话 stretch out， 那你等于是你花了5乘200，1000美元，在一个 sales cycle 才可以可能去 close 1个人 ，right？ 所以一个客户你要花 one client that is 5 hours. One client, 5 hours. Okay, let's do the math here.
Sale out of 5 people. So how many hours are you spending for that one client? Wow, I'm spending 5 hours. So let's do the math on that. I mean, we can do that in our head, but see, I'm walking it out. So let's do the math on that. So you charge $200 an hour. I've got my little thing here. $200 an hour times 5. So it's costing you $1,000 to get a client.
好，那我的数学应该没有算错。1000个等于说你一个客户你要花1000美金才能去获得一个客户。
And I would just shut up and let them process that. So that's what we did in timeshare, and let them understand of what they're spending already to get what they want. So then what I would do is, have you thought about group meetings? Have you ever done a webinar? Oh, it's very complicated. They don't work, or whatever. Well, but what happens is, imagine for a minute and see, I know.
All right. 这边他说的事情是 OK， 他透过算法 ROI 的算法，所以他甚至客户都没有提到 ROI， 我们主动提到 ROI， 那帮他们客户做算法之后，顺势再 transition into a pitch。OK， 那你有想到 webinar 吗 ？Imagine 我们可以帮你节省时间，可以把客户10个客户、20个客户集中在一个 sit down，right？ 在一个 sit down。然后你可以与其花1000美金在一个客户，然后我们再重新做一个计算，然后听他是怎么做计算。
Word imagine. Imagine for a minute that you book an hour and you get 10 people on the call. Now you've spent that 1 hour talking to 10 people.
OK， 他的算法是10个人出现在 webinar， 你花1个小时去跟10个人做交谈 ，OK， 并且你知道怎么跟他说，你知道怎么让他爱你。
You know exactly what to say. to sell them something that they're going to love. How much time have you just saved? I've saved 9 hours.
OK， 所以你节省了9个小时，节省了9个小时。那你的 hourly rate 是200块，等于说你节省了1800美金。哇哦，一来一去就是3000，
Probably made a sale in
3800。
that 1 hour. See how I let them finish my sentence? Because that allows them to.
然后，并且它还有个 technique 在这边用的是就是故意把句子拉得很长，让别人来帮你去回答你给他提出的问题。等于说你节省了9个小时，那等于说你节省了，那客户说啊1800美金，对，那是这个技巧。
And process. You see what I'm saying?
Yep.
Okay, so let's go on. But I love this leverage thing. You totally have it. You totally have it. I want to demonstrate that because that's one of my key points that I think is going to really hit home with people because a lot of people hate the sales. And I don't want to go into lead generation, but a lot of people go out and do lead generation and then they have to do the sales call and then they have to fulfill. I cut all that out because I'll refer them to a lead generation source. I'll refer them to a closer eventually once they get it, like Marco and like Nick. I don't say that, but this is how to help them save time and leverage more. Okay.
And also, I have a chart here which I